Well, it's time now to hear from our incoming NAILBA chairman, Jeff Mooers. Jeff is a third-generation principal at H.D. Mooers and Company, a brokerage general agency started back in 1937. Now, Jeff started at the agency in 1989, following in the footsteps of his father, his uncle, NAILBA's own Douglas Mooers, and his grandfather. After graduating from the University of California, Davis, Jeff went to work in the marketing department and took over as president in 2000. He currently serves on the editorial advisory panel and has served on numerous NAILBA committees, including as chairman of the marketing and strategic planning committees. He was recognized in 2012 with the NAILBA Chairman's Award, and he's an active supporter of the NAILBA Charitable Foundation, serving on the Grants Committee in 2012. Well, Jeff and his wife, Linda, have 3 children, Eddie, Emily, and Eric. He is the past president of NAFO Mount Diablo, and outside the office, he enjoys fly fishing, traveling with his family, and coaching Eric's soccer team. Please give a warm welcome to incoming NAILBA Chairman, Jeff Mooers.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me in the back? Please, everyone sit down. Thank you, Amy. Please add cat herding to your list of skills. I want to thank in advance to Bonnie Godsman, Tim Clusis, Kevin Brayton, and to Dan, and in absentia, Gene Coster, for our upcoming panel, where you'll hear industry experts like me expand profoundly on questions we'll pretend like we're hearing for the first time. If you're going to clap for that, we're going to be here all day. I want to thank Paul Meyer at Tecker International. You'll remember that we'd asked Paul to help us figure out how to best work with AALU, and we actually came away with a real, workable, substantive strategic plan. I want to thank David Martin at Sterling Martin. We hired David's search firm to help us find, ultimately, Dan, but on the way, we went a long way toward finding ourselves. I want to thank my Tiger buddies. Some of my best friends are actually in this room. That's a lie. Most of them left already, so screw you guys. Thank you, Chip and Jim and Myra, for all the extra work on the executive committee that we all did this last year. To Chip especially, who we'll all miss as he leaves the board. Your leadership during these interesting times was exemplary. I want to welcome to the board John Gilbert and Tori Van Duzen Rose. Congratulations to Chad Milner, who is moving on to the executive committee. And with all due respect to John Gilbert, it's almost like he's the player to be named later, and we traded Chip for Tori, straight up, and that is a steal. Seriously, I can't tell you how excited I am with this group coming in. It's an amazing team, and we will put in the work. I want to take a minute to thank the NAILBA staff that we lost along the way to that climate change, if you will, because that's what it was. The climate changed. To Sarah and the other Susan, and to my homeboy, John Tong. You all did great work on behalf of NAILBA, and we thank you. And of course, Jack Chason. Jack and I have been close for years, and we've often talked of the day that we would finally work together. Then he found out I'd be chair, and he bolted to New Mexico. I mean, I get it, it's not new for me, but now it's like he's in some witness protection program off the grid in the high desert somewhere. So, seriously though, I don't know where NAILBA would be without Jack's service for the past dozen years. He will be missed, he already is. Thank you, Dan, for your momentary lapse in judgment in accepting this here gig. Please, if you haven't had a chance, take an opportunity to meet Dan Labert, our new CEO. I don't speak French, nor do I speak to the French if I can help it, but I believe Dan Labert translates roughly to Dan the Bert. So thank you, Dan the Bert, for, if nothing else, confusing the French. Much appreciated. Thank you to our sponsors, our vendors, our carrier partners. I will get to you in a second. Thanks to people like Doffenbaugh and Gentry and Jetter and DeWald and Michigan and Tesla and Phillips and Long and Uke, Dex for agreeing to help me out as members of the Chairman's Review and Planning Committee. I've already reached out to this group and will continue to do so. And if any of you want to participate, chairman or not, please just let me know, as long as you're not Gary Dworkin. But please reach out to me or to the staff or the board, because that's really how this works. You run NAILBA. We, the board, serve you, not the other way around. Because NAILBA is not a for-profit entity. NAILBA is not designed to make money, it's designed to make you money. It's not for profit, but it certainly is for your profit. That means NAILBA's only purpose should be to provide you, the members, with the best possible return on your investment. Your investment is your dues, your time, your effort, and your participation. So let's put a number on that. What's that? Maybe $5,000. So what kind of return on your investment can you expect for that $5,000 investment? 5%? 10%? I think NAILBA is capable of providing you with an exponential return on that investment. There were hundreds of $50,000, $100,000, maybe even $1 million ideas just in the exhibit hall. Countless ways to save you thousands every year. And that's just the exhibit hall at the annual meeting. What about the relationships? Those are priceless. And the member benefits available now and going forward. NAILBA has the highest IRR of any investment in your agency's portfolios, as long as you are taking advantage and we are doing our job. My hope is that we will really look toward a deeper and more meaningful educational platform, and I'm more than happy to provide my visionary expertise. Just last month, I was bequeathing verbal gems to my local NAIFA meeting when a fellow in the back said, "Yes, sir, but by doing that, are you not creating an arbitrage?" I smiled patiently. "No, my friend," I replied, "an arbitrage is a bird." I'm available for a small fee. My biggest thanks by far has to go to the staff who held on to their desks as the storms blew through and are still with us today. To Ellen and to Meredith and to Kathy, who stood by Susan's side and hung in there and does such a fantastic job with the Charitable Foundation. Cheers. And then there's Susan Clemmer. We, NAILBA, really can't thank Susan enough. Susan kept our lights on. From the DOL fiduciary rule, which we lovingly call in my office the fidouche, through the merger talk, which, let me be clear, has ended. I love and appreciate our friends at AALU and our sister associations, but we are NAILBA, and we are staying NAILBA. And if you want another, thank you. If you want another outcome than that, then feel free to come and drag me off the stage. But Susan stuck with us through our merger talk and through some sweeping personnel changes. She actually played an active and supportive role in finding her new boss. I couldn't do that. She worked diligently and exhaustively as our interim executive director. She responded to my texts at very strange hours, my very strange texts at very strange hours. There's absolutely no way we would have survived all the recent and significant transitions without Susan Clemmer, and we thank you. Personally, I will not try to put into words how honored I am to be your NAILBA chairman. I can't. Some of you know, and many of you I'm sure have suspected, that I suffer from a peculiar mental affliction. This curious condition, in short, wants to take me into a cold, dark room and kill me. And it came pretty close. But in my personal life, I've been blessed with a second chance at a first-class life. I cherish this opportunity, and I've been given the grace to live one day at a time with a ton of hope and appreciation and gratitude. I never thought I'd see this day, and I'm a very lucky guy. We learn so much from our challenges in our personal and professional lives, and here today, NAILBA to me feels like a snake having just shed its skin. Anybody uncomfortable with the snake analogy, please remember that probably at some point this week, we had some slick-back, stranger-owned life settlement guy in the same room as Jim Ash. But we are a new, nimble NAILBA, a new generation. I believe in our members growing, and that will cause membership growth. If we focus on helping you grow, then NAILBA itself will grow. We hope that the quality and energy at this year's meeting has shown our commitment to the partnership we share with each other and with the vendors and the IMOs and the associations and the carriers, and we want to take that much, much further in the upcoming year. We want to work with you more closely for mutual success, whatever that looks like, whatever that means. Perhaps it's co-branding educational material, or maybe it's a proprietary product or marketing plan. Maybe it's a full-scale movement, a revolution to bring honor back to this industry. A new deal where we build products that will do what we say they're going to do. Because a promise to maybe do something is not a promise. It's like not promising at all. A quick reminder to our carrier friends, we have ideas, and we'll have many more with our new board and staff. And at this annual meeting, if you stopped and look around, you have 500 million reasons to listen to us. Unless Jim Ash goes to the bathroom. And if he goes with Sharon Singh, that's either weird or you can just pack up and leave. We understand. We're not delusional. Anyway, I want you to feel like you absolutely must have a hospitality suite at next year's NAILBA carriers. I mean, Chip and I have quit drinking, so that cuts the bar bill in half right there. So if I can promise that Gary Dorkin will be nowhere near your suite, do we have a deal? So before you put your name on a stadium, or a football field, or an arena, or a pyramid, or a golfer, or a soccer team, come to us. I mean, think about it. I personally have sold more of this carrier's product than this dude ever has. In fact, Jim, if we could just maybe, there we go. I asked another dear friend of our association, Warren May, who couldn't make it. He's recovering from back surgery. I asked him about how he felt NAILBA was looking at what we represent, and here's what he had to say. He called us a, quote, foundational player in leadership development, intermediary distribution, perpetuation, and industry promotion. As you know so well, he goes on to say, the next second generation must first be recruited, then educated, motivated, and prepared to champion independent distribution beyond current industry leading thresholds of production in the face of a rapidly changing environment. Beyond product and technical skills, he went on, educational development surrounding technology, socioeconomics, generational expectations, buying preferences, analytics, disruptors, Washington, and of course systems and recognitions are all front and center as we together advance the perpetuation of our industry. To which I said, what? Here's the way I see us. We're brokerage. We're independent distribution. We built this. Our fathers, our grandfathers sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears to build this industry. We are the history. Just look at this incoming board with names like Van Dusen and Milner and Gilbert and Lee and Mooers. Talk about my generation. We are the present. We are the model. We are the process. We have the relevance. We have the leverage. We change by choice deliberately. And we are the future. Look at Dan. Watch him work. Look at your board. Look at your meeting. Look at your content. I'll close with a riddle because we all know insurance jokes simply can't miss. What do you get when you tell 300 independent, unique serial entrepreneurs what to do? Nothing. What do you get when you ask them? NAILBA. Thank you.